G'day, it's Matt here from Life with No Anchor, and we have got a very special guest that we'd like to introduce you to. One of the renowned musicians that we've come across on the Gold Coast. He's always down there playing the Rhythm and Blues Festival. He's touring around Australia now with Taya Chani on the back of coming home from the United States, promoting the album Nightbird. Let's have a chat with 8 Ball. Eight Ball, welcome to Darwin, mate.
Thank you. Great to be back.
How long has it been since you've been up here?
3 years. Yeah. I used to come every year, and I once came 3 times in 1 year.
Did they get sick of you?
Luckily, not yet. They haven't told me.
You've described your ritual as far as how you start your day, where you don't turn your phone on until you've written a song. How does that fit into your musical routine?
I was like that for many years. These days, I've got a 2-year-old, so life's a bit different, and I haven't been able to write songs in the morning. I still don't turn my phone on straight away. I'd like to get my brain warm up, but there's sometimes when I have to, when things have to happen. But before I had a kid, I would leave my phone off and write songs first thing in the morning. That was an old ritual for a long time. And I recommend it if you don't have a kid jumping on your head, getting ready for the day. If you got the time and space, don't let the technology control you. That's the moral of that story. And there'll be a time again one day where I will wake up and write songs, Right now, lately I've been writing songs with Taya Chani, who is playing tonight with me. And we're touring Australia for the rest of the year together with our joint album. And we write songs after the gigs and before the gigs and whenever we're on tour. So you got to adapt as life changes, and that's what I've been doing lately.
You grew up in a family with a lot of kids. Was it 13 kids?
That sounds better than 11, but
11?
So, let's not ruin a good story with the truth.
Why not? Why not?
Once you get past 6 or 7 kids in a family, it's just
stop counting.
A lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
So you grew up jamming in a tobacco shed.
What happened was we were living on this farm when I was in my teenage years up in North Queensland, and there was kids coming thick and fast at that point, and the house was too small. So my stepmom says to us, "Teenage boys are out, you're in the shed." So we ended up in this tobacco shed, which sounds worse than it was, because teenage boys with the freedom to play drums and guitars all night and drink sneaky bourbons and smoke pencil shavings, so it was a great thing, But we did find, I'd found a massive rat under my pillow, and there was pythons. We'd find a python skin that was 6 foot long and still getting bigger, living next to the Barron River where they have them big 20-something feet pythons. And so we had bats that would come in there was no window, the glass was busted, so the bats would be coming in, and it was fun times. When no one died, it was just a bit closer to nature. So that's what life was like back then, and I feel lucky to have been able to put music as the focus through my teenage years, because I would play all weekend, and my mates would come over and we'd just get into the music. And my brother was there, Dillian. He's still in my band, but that's all right, because I write half the songs on his albums with him, so we're still like that. I guess we formed that musical bond and the brotherly bond, and
it seems like the universe has almost played some sort of poetic joke, I suppose, with the cigar box guitars and that part of your history. Is there a story behind the connection there?
No, I mean, I was on tobacco farms, but right as I was in high school, tobacco was getting phased out and they were planting coffee. I guess they needed something to drink with their cigarettes, but they lost the contract and they were making tobacco cheaper and growing it cheaper in South America. So after 50 or something years, Mariba was no longer growing tobacco as the main crop. They started mangoes and lychees and all sorts of other things. A lot of those farmers were growing other types of smokable things and getting busted at that time too, because they were losing their farms after they had to adapt. Same as the music industry now, we've got to adapt as the game changes, you pivot. So that was that time.
Your discipline and your focus on staying true to your music and doing what you're doing. There was an interesting story I read about where you got some advice from a Koori elder about being focused and not letting your talent go to waste.
Yeah, that's a story from a long time ago, but I guess it's still relevant because we were working on the banana farm, and that rural life is a whole lot of hard work all week, and then Friday drinking your paycheck. And if you're still lucky enough to be still drinking breakfast beers on Sunday and you haven't run out yet, you know, you're going to sober up Sunday night and have a feed and then start work on Monday on the farm again. So that was really good times of life. You know, I really enjoyed being outdoors, but there wasn't a great future in it, especially for someone like me who was obviously going to be a musician. I was playing at smoke. I was so dedicated. So yeah, this guy said to me, he was an Aboriginal elder from Townsville whose family was in Mareeba, and he came up and he said to me, look, I'll be disappointed if I come back next year and you're still wasting your talent drinking and smoking and you're still here, because he's like encouraged me to go to the big smoke and follow my dream. You know, I was sitting there thinking, he's right, I'm going to get out and do something. And I'm glad I got going, you know.
And you did get out and do something. Your journey took you over to the States. You were in Nashville for 9 years.
I was in Nashville and Austin, and I was in 220 countries. I definitely feel like I'm a guy that's gotten out and had a go at life. And I just encourage young people to travel and work on your craft. Take what you do seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. But really, you got to focus and you got to believe, and you got to believe to achieve. And the things that you get to experience when you're out there on purpose, and the people you get to meet and the friends you make, is like it's a good life. It's not going to be easy, you know, when you're out there working and moving and traveling and following a dream, but it's so worth it, you know, because you'll never die wondering. And now that life's changed pace for me, being a father and having a recording studio, I feel like all that time I spent in the States working on my craft, now I'm the guy on the Sunshine Coast helping the people that come to me. So I spend a lot more time in the studio and at home and with other people coming to me to help them along their musical journey. And I wouldn't be able to help them if I didn't get out there and learn from all those other people along the way. So it's just a new time, eh?
So that feeds in really nicely to the Mount Coot-tha Songwriters group that you set up. Is that something that's still close to your heart?
Yes, we've just celebrated our 21st year, and it's a Brisbane City Council funded event. I started it as my TAFE assignment when I was at Music Business TAFE, and it was a pretend grant application. So like, here's your assignment, pretend you're writing a grant, make something up. So I happened to go up to Mount Coot-tha for a picnic and saw the bandstand. I was like, this would be so great to have a big gig up here with all the songwriters doing our thing. And I applied, that was the time. So I wrote this pretend grant. The teacher said, hey, that's pretty cool. Why don't you think about actually submitting it? So I did. And 21 years later, we're going into our 22nd year. We've showcased over 150 songwriters from Brisbane and surrounds, and touring acts that come through. And it's all about, it's a festival without the flashing lights and the big fancy technology. It's about people with an acoustic guitar or a piano or stripped back stuff, getting up there and singing their songs to a crowd that are hanging on every word, listening to the melodies. And a lot of my buddies that are dads and parents, they're like, I never appreciated this festival until I had a family and I could lie there and let my kids experience what a song is with an acoustic guitar, and they can run off and chase an ibis and climb a tree and you don't have to worry about them. And that's what, it's funny, the simple things in life, the real living, when you're just out there in the sunshine, you can curl up on a blanket with your loved ones and eat a bit of cheese. I didn't say, I almost said wine and cheese. I mean watermelon and cheese. But you can have like snacks and chill time. After this busy life we live, just to lie there and hear people sing songs, and to have the Brisbane City Council actually fund and support the event with a grant, I know we're winning. And to be going for 21 years, like I guess at some point it's going to be going longer in my life than it wasn't going pretty soon, you know. So having the right intentions to showcase original music without the bells and whistles, it's a mission that we've stayed true to, and I hope it keeps going for a long time. I hope that one day when I'm too old to run it, I can hand it over to someone and we can have that little established in, actually I haven't counted it back, but established in 2005, must have been 2004 must have been the first one.
So that wouldn't have been too long after you did your first backyard home gig, would it?
No, I didn't own a house back then. I might have played at someone else's house, but maybe I was invited, maybe I just turned up. I started touring as a hitchhiker in the year 2000. I left Mareeba with my guitar, my bag, and I went to Melbourne, and I was busking down the street, and I remember, forget the name of the actor, but the guy, Russell Coight, what's his real name?
Oh.
Aussie legend.
I know the bloke you're talking
One
about.
of my favourite actors of all time. And the reason he's my favourite actor is I was busking in Melbourne and he drunkenly wandered down the road from the Espy and handed me his money and just emptied his wallet into my coins, not like massive amounts of bills or anything, and he's like, man, you're great. And and I'm like strumming away. I'm like, Russell Coight, or I don't even think he was Russell Coight back then.
Glenn, name forgets me. We'll chuck it here. Yeah.
Anyway, he came by and then I went up to King's Cross and I was busking up there, and this is no joke, I still laugh at this story. People at the bottom help each other. Like there's a hooker standing on this part of the street in King's Cross and I'm strumming away, and the backpackers are coming out of the pubs. English backpackers would always get really drunk and give you their money if you could sing a few songs, and you didn't even have to know the whole song, you could just strum a bit of it or play a bit. And this hooker says to me, do you mind moving up the road about 5 meters? This is where I've stood for the last 18 years. And I said, all right, I wasn't going to argue with her. This is her spot. So I move up the road and, the customers come and go, and she comes back with some money and she buys me a tally in a paper bag and gives me a beer for shifting out of the spot so peacefully. And yeah, then she's like dancing around and the next customer comes along, and life is like, you realize you just got to work with people and you got to do your best and got to be professional. You got to deliver the goods. So I'm just strumming away there, and that was how I got started. Like, you figure out if you can do something is compelling enough that a drunk person can wander down the street and stop what they're doing and give you a few bucks, and then they wander off, then maybe you can do something in the music business. That was like starting point number one for me, just busking.
So now you're touring. It's the Nightbird album, yourself and Taya. You've chosen to collaborate instead of going out and doing your own album. Tell us more about that journey and that choice.
Well, yeah, it's fun to have one of your best mates as your touring partner. And Taya sang backups on 3 of my albums, and we started working together during lockdowns and lockouts and whatever. I was still in America, I was in Nashville, and my brother, who'd known Taya for many years, he suggested, oh, you need some female backing vocals on a particular song, contact Taya. And we just hit it off online. We were sending files back and forward and working. And then when I came through Sydney, when I moved back to Australia, we spent a night just strumming songs on the balcony. We'd started writing songs, and we put out a duet called Only Guiding Light, and people were like, we want to hear more, and it just naturally happened. So 5 years later, after we started working together, we got our first collaboration album, and we're sharing the lead vocal. We write songs together. Instead of partying after the gigs, we go write songs in the motel or wherever we end up, and we're really focused and dedicated, and we love the music we make together more than the music we make separately. Like, it just works, and it's just fun. And I kind of feel like writing songs alone after writing like 1,000 songs or something by now. You just sort of feel like you're rehashing yourself, and you get a bit lonely or bored writing alone, unless it's an inspiration that just hits you and you're like, bam. If I don't sit there and work on it alone, because I'd rather work on it with your mate, because then it's like hanging out. So it's just fun, and we get a result. We really follow through. So we've got 7 or 8 songs ready for another album, and we're only just launching this one now. So we're going to keep going, and it just seems to work, and it's fun. I love singing harmonies, and I'm happy when she's singing lead and I'm singing harmonies. And she's a great rhythm player. She's solid. So getting to work around all that is really fun. I think we've got I think our best is yet to come, and launching this Nightbird album has been really cool. We're only about a month or so into the run, and we're going to hopefully take it to America next year as well. So we'll get around Australia everywhere we can for the next 6 months and see what we can do with it over here, and it'll be time to go over there again.
I've heard you describe your life as being full of blessed moments and never a boring moment, and it sounds very much like you're still on that very fulfilled journey. What advice could you offer someone who's looking to chase that same spark in their own lives?
My life feels effortless because I'm on purpose. I do what I love, and I'm a people person. I love the energy of going places and meeting people and hanging out and fun, and I've never been really motivated by, I should say what I am motivated. I'm actually motivated by fun. I love a good laugh. I love a good joke. I love being silly. I'm not here to be cool or be beautiful or be needed or anything. It's like, I just love having fun. And so that's makes it easy to know what you're here for. So if we can get on stage tonight and bring a bit of joy and peace and love and fun to the world, we can make people laugh, and we have some sincere moments too. We sing from the heart too. But I know what I'm here for, and that's to be the guy that has the most fun, eh?
Is there a particular song that you find, yours or someone else's, that really strikes a chord for you?
It's different all the time because I don't stick to the same set list, and The song that people keep coming back for, there's a couple of them. Mama's Cooking, it's a song about food. There's that many love songs out there. People want to hear songs about eating. It's the world's worst vegetarian blues song, but it's like Peace and Love is a song that struck home. Every bogan that ever comes to my head wants to rock out. My gig wants to rock out to She's Going to Mexico, I'm Going to Jail. Somehow that just stuck and I bang it out. It's usually the last song of the set. I smash a gear and leave them wanting more. But there's another one too, Skydive, when I do that little 3-string guitar. It started off as a joke, just smashing together as many songs as I could into a medley on 3 strings. And years later, it's like people just don't let me get away without doing it at a gig. So it's like you can have a fancy Gibson or a nice Fender guitar to play, but they really want to hear your little 3-string cigar box that's like fallen to pieces after all those years of carrying it around the world. And a buddy of mine in Ballina, he just built me a new guitar to replace the old cigar box that's had the second box placed on. He took all the specs and rebuilt it for me because some of those cigar boxes are pretty thin, you know, like they get destroyed over time. Now I have the newer version of the old faithful, and 3 strings can do a lot of damage, you know, like you got enough octaves there if you keep going up and down. I have a lot of fun with that thing. Just you work within the limitations. If you've got three strings, you haven't got a lot of octaves to stay in the same place. So you're jumping around, and if you really work on your intonation to keep your slide in tune when you're flying all around the neck, going up and down.
I remember your 21st backyard gig when you broke that out. Your neighbour was not going to let you get away with quitting early. He nearly fell off the roof dancing on his porch there next door.
That was funny as, yeah. He had his dog up on the roof too.
His dog was up there with him. Wow. I couldn't see that from where we were, but yeah.
Look, he was having fun, and it's, I like to think that, you know, I brought a little bit of life to the Glasshouse Mountains. It's a pretty little sleepy pineapple growing town. When you look at the other towns around the sunny coast, there's a lot of ones that attract a lot of tourists. That they sell bath bombs and tea towels with like names on it and whatever. Glasshouse is still pretty down to earth. If you go to the shops, it's basic stuff that you need, that a regular family would need. And it's not cluttered with like fancy stuff that only tourists buy, you know, so it's still a nice place to live, and I'm pretty settled there. The backyard gigs, now I've started the studio gigs in my studio where we have 40 people, where we have acoustic songwriter stuff. So the backyard gigs are like 100 people usually on public holidays or Sunday sessions, and we have bands and guests out there. And the studios are now usually Friday nights when we have whatever friends of mine are touring through. We can just get the acoustics out and sing the soft stuff and a different kind of magic, you know. It's like the laid back, we're stripped back.
And you've got your own type of magic. Talking about bath bombs and tea towels, I burst into tears laughing with some of the tea towel quotes of wisdom that you shared from stage. Have you been working on any new tea towel quotes of wisdom? Can you leave us with a good one?
Just stop killing volcanoes to make lava lamps. Stop murdering ducks to make duct tape. Charity projects from the Have Some Fun in Darwin Tonight Association. Get behind a good charity project.
Well, guys, you've been listening to 8 Ball with the pearls of wisdom he's been sharing. Mate, thank you so much for your time. I know it's a busy whirlwind time for you at this stage.
Man, it's all good. I'm relaxing out here in the garden. Thank you for what you do, spreading the word about musicians and your travels. Just nice conversations, and man, we're just blessed to be part of a creative bunch of people and community. So thank you for being here tonight with us.
Pleasure, mate. Looking forward to the set.
We're going to get rocking and have a good time.
We are. See you on the next one, guys.
Nightbird.